Man, I wish I was the host of Tonight Show. That's a dream, dude. That's just a dream. Every time Jimmy Fallon, I do like Fallon better than Kimmel, but Fallon, someone will say something like, yeah, and then I stub my toe, and he's like, oh, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard. And it's like, okay, dude, like, okay, relax, man. It's not that funny. Speaking of sometimes funny, it's me. It's top 10 famous treasures from history that are still missing. Number 10, Romanov Eggs. The Romanov dynasty ruled over the Empire of Russia for 300 years. 300 years of breakfast being served in the Winter Palace, and 300 years of ignoring the peasants even after they make an attempt on your life. Peasants. Well, eventually this caught up with the royal family, and the people and the workers revolted. They were pretty upset. It was Soviet time. Nicholas II was forced to abdicate his throne and power and went into exile with his family. Now, since the old government was out and, well, it was time to let in the new one, That's a bad joke. Some resources were allocated to the new governing body. Makes sense. And perhaps maybe some family treasures also may have gone missing. We totally didn't take, communists would never take money. What? The Romanov Fabergé eggs, for instance, jewel and gold encrusted decorative eggs, the same that are probably in Nona's basement. However, these would have been worth a fortune. It's too bad they're missing. What a shame. We'll never know. Beautiful, just beautiful eggs, gold and jewels, fabulous. Number 9, Ark of the Covenant. It belongs in a museum. And if you see Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, then you know it's chilling in a top secret military storage unit. Besides the whole atomic fridge scene, I actually think that movie's okay. I really do. The monkey swinging thing's a little weird with Shia LaBeouf, but I think it's okay. Well, in Raiders, Indy is after the Ark of the Covenant, or at least he tries to go after the Ark of the Covenant and put it in a museum. So stupid. The Germans kind of get there first, and even without Indy to save the day, the Germans, well, they botch it. I know that if you watched that scene when you were younger, it gave you nightmares. Don't lie, I know it did. Well, to put it simply, the Ark is a shiny gold box that may or may not contain what's left of the 10 Commandments. That's right, the same ones that Moses walked down the mountain, Charlton Heston, and these are the commandments of God. You know what I'm talking about. You've seen the movie. It's a long movie, 4 hours. However, it's only meant for the eyes of those who are worthy, because if not, 80s CGI ghosts will come out and melt your face. Like in the movie. Number 8, Montezuma's treasure. The Aztecs were an amazing civilization in Mesoamerica who built grand cities with canals and boats for travel. Pretty smart, all considering they never invented the wheel. It's kind of weird. They never did. It's strange. They also happened to fancy a bit of treasure, and by that I mean they loved gold. The smell of it, the texture of it, the taste of it. I love gold! Austin Powers, anyone? Chris liked it. He liked that part. Everything was great until the Spanish showed up and introduced blam blams, germs, and steel, as the Europeans do. The Spanish were after the Aztec treasure, and truth be told, they got a fair share of it too. However, King Montezuma had his own wealth, and it's said to be a fortune, which makes he's the king. He's probably got a lot of gold. It makes sense. However, during an attack on the capital city, he was de-lifed, and his treasure buried somewhere that's never been found. Ooh, boy, you'd find a lot of good stuff in that pile. However, it may also be cursed, so I wouldn't exactly want to go looking. You'd end up with traveler's diarrhea or something. Montezuma's revenge, baby. Ooh. Number 7, German gold. 1940s Germany. They went on a world tour and they came out pretty strong, honestly, pretty strong. However, after the international community decided that goose-stepping home from the coffee shop wasn't ideal, they sent Germany packing. However, during their rise to power, Germany was allocating resources for their future trips. Part of this was stealing gold, treasure, and art, and pretty much anything of value, and bringing it back home to fund the war effort, from pretty much anyone they could get their hands on. Ugh. So, after the war ended, all stolen loot was given back to the rightful owners, right? Of course it was. No, it wasn't, because this is real life. While some was recovered, many accounted items are still unaccounted for. It's way too much to even talk about, honestly, it's crazy. And for some of the stuff may also be sitting in a Swiss bank vault still, so that's kinda shady. Swiss bank, uh-oh. Number 6, Mosby's treasure. A Confederate colonel found himself in possession of gold, silver, and valuable family heirlooms. totally didn't rob all the people in the area to get that though. What? No. Well, while transporting his totally not ill-gotten gains, it was rumored that a Union patrol was nearby. In fear of being caught and slowed down by all of his loot, Colonel Mosby decided to bury his treasure between two pine trees, marked with his knife. That's how you know it's always going to be there. After falling back to Confederate lines, he sent out a patrol to retrieve it. The patrol got by Union soldiers and Mosby never returned. So anyone near Fairfax, Virginia, you may be standing on top of a lot of Civil War treasure. Number 5. Hojo Masamune. Master sword maker and legendary smith. His sword was passed down through generations. The craftsmanship, the history, and the fact that katanas are just cool. Ask anyone at Anime North, they'll tell you, they're all very cool. Well, it was still around in the 1940s, however, while the international community was explaining to Germany how big of a mistake they made, America was giving Japan a spank on the bum bum. After 1945, America had occupied Japan, as it is normal to do after a war. However, that meant the Japanese forces and civilians had to be disarmed. It was kind of a touchy subject and kind of a tough time, but it had to be done. That means no blam blams and no ceremonial poking sticks. The issue is America wasn't keeping these. I mean, they did keep some, but they were more so destroying things, and it is speculated that in the confusion that was post-World War II Japan, the legendary sword was destroyed, thus lost forever. Number 4. Blackbeard's treasure. The most ruthless pirate of the seven seas and the Queen Anne's Revenger were eventually defeated in battle. Before he met his fate, old Blackbeard said he buried all of his riches. That was enough to inspire many to look for his booty. One can only imagine what he has buried: gold, jewels, silver. I mean, the possibilities with Blackbeard are endless. He was everywhere. It could be all kinds of amazing stuff there. It's kind of overwhelming to think about. I should go on a treasure hunt. However, it's kind of like that last scene in Breaking Bad. Jack was gonna tell Walt where his money is, but Heisenberg didn't care and ended it. Sometimes ending the reign of an evil man is more important than taking his riches. That's why they got rid of Blackbeard. He's not around no more. Number 3. Libertalia. Uncharted fans, rejoice. So it's the early to mid 1700s and you're a pirate in the golden age of piracy. Ooh, nice. The Caribbean was a hotbed for your misdeeds. However, sometimes it wasn't so easy to dodge the crown on the seas, and getting caught would mean, well, you'd probably lose your life. It wouldn't be good. So what did a bunch of pirates led by Captain Jane's mission do? They made their own colony in Madagascar, because you can't boss us around if we're the bosses. Smart. It was called Libertalia. So imagine, if you will, a whole city full of the nastiest, most violent criminals of the seven seas. Can you imagine what those bars were like? Sadly, however, this may or may not have been true. We're not exactly sure. It sounds like it might not have been just made up, but cool if it was though, and then it'd be lost to time was where to find it. Number 2. Feature presentation. As an actor, I find this one pretty cool. The story of the Kelly Gang was released in Australia in 1906 and is regarded as the first feature-length film. With a runtime of over an hour, the movie depicts the story of an old outlaw gang. At the time, the film was doing great and opened in New Zealand as well as England. Pretty cool for the time. Sadly though, for fans of vintage film, which includes me, check out Freaks 1932. It's one of my favorites. Great movie. But like I said, sadly the film was lost and or partially destroyed, meaning the only thing we have left is a few segments of the movie. We've done our best to refurbish the film, but it's been lost to time. Number 1. Atlantis of the Sands. Atlantis of the Sands refers to a legendary lost city in the southern deserts of the Arabian Peninsula, thought to have been destroyed by a natural disaster or as a punishment by God, known as Ubar, Wabar, or Iram. In 1992, excavations in the area did reveal some sort of city was present many years ago. However, there's not much to be found and many theories have sparked up. This could be a lost city that's mentioned in Islamic holy books and maps. However, some may say the remains of the stone structures that are there are of that of a much later simple fortress, or others think it doesn't even exist at all. So, you can go figure, but otherwise it's lost. I found it on Uncharted with Nathan Drake. We found it, but you know, everyone else, they didn't find it, but that's okay. That's gonna wrap it up for me today, guys. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe here at Bumblebee for more. You're gonna see more Chetty. And if you really want to see more Chetty, then check out my socials somewhere down below. My Instagram, I'm gonna down there, stream sometime. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you soon. I'll ta-ta, bye. Stay sweet, my little honeybees. Bye. treasure, Civil War treasure. The treasure is me learning how to read. That's the real treasure, folks.